We are underway, and this is the first look that we get of Jaden Reed. Missed last game due to an ankle injury, but on the floor out there, it's Page with the basketball. Finds Reed, Kinziger, heavy defense. Reed penetrates, passes, Singleton, back to Sheravino, corner tray, kaboom!
Odd start for Angelo Sheravino, who put on some muscle this offseason, which will help him on the defensive end, but is also just playing with so much more confidence on the offensive end, and you saw it on display right there.
Now we see Illinois State and their offensive look for the first time tonight. Kinziger, Walker, pump fake, dribbles inside, working on Page. Nice little jump stop, gets it to fall. That's what Chase Walker does, such a talented scorer. Averaged over 15 points per game last season with the Redbirds, and he's got 2 early.
Another look at the three-pointer from Sheravino, who hits from the corner, and you just see the gravity of the defense. And then on the other side, Chase Walker, you mentioned, not only just so great at scoring last season, first-team All-MVC, but also gets to the line all the time, like here. Got fouled 7.4 times per 40 minutes last year. That was top 10 rate in the NCAA.
And knocks down the free throw. Was a 69% free throw shooter last year. For how much he scores, how much he gets to the rim, definitely something he would like to improve this season. Martinelli now, looking down low. Good pass to Page, little flipper, and it doesn't fall. Kinziger. Over to Walker. Those two are going to be household names for the Redbirds this season. Kinziger from the right elbow. It falls. 5-3 Illinois State early.
Really impressive offensive movement early on from the Redbirds. Playing at a fast pace for both sides this far.
The Wildcats set their half-court offense. Page from the top of the creek. He's got that ability to shoot, but it does not fall. Foul called here. Ticky-tack away from the basketball. Remains Illinois State possession underneath the basket. Or actually a side out. This Illinois State offense has looked really good in the early going. Found Walker, Kinziger, those are their 2 best offensive threats. Now Reed picks up the foul, trying to guard the speedy Kinziger.
Excited to watch Jaden Reed. We've talked so much about what he can do on the offensive end, but also he's a real defensive force. Yes, might not look at it standing at just 5'10", 160 pounds, but averaged nearly 2 steals per game last year for USF.
Walker, a little dribble handoff to Skundberg, looking his real first season with Illinois State. Walker working inside. Just off glass. Northwestern did say that it wants to play a little bit faster this year. Reed, little alley-oop lob as Page finishes it. Nice aerial attack for Page.
Beautiful connection between 2 transfers, and with 8 new players, something Coach Collins talked about is using these exhibition games and early season games as an opportunity to mesh all of the new faces.
Kinziger, a little pass to Skundberg. Wing 3. 8-5, Redbirds in front. Martinelli moving it ahead. Page now working on Walker. Inside, he's got a little bit of that post game. Works with the left hand and gets the foul on Walker as Page goes to the line.
Back to that play by Reed. 2 possessions ago, just finds Page, who rolls to the hoop for an easy basket. Then on the other end, a really impressive offensive start. This time it's Bowden Skundberg nailing a 3. 2024 led North Dakota State in scoring and in rebounds, and brings his talents to Normal, Illinois this season.
First one from Page falls. Last season at Cincinnati, a 63% free throw shooter. Years past, Northwestern's had more defensive-minded centers as he goes 1 for 2. Think back to Matthew Nicholson, who was such an important part of the offense for Northwestern in terms of a passer and screener. But you've got a guy like Page who can attack the basket, work from the post. It really opens up this Wildcats offense. Skundberg goes left. Good pass to Walker, fumbles away, and Page diving out for it. The Wildcats push it ahead. Singleton, corner, Reed pops the 3. Can't get it to fall. That looked good in transition for Northwestern. Kinziger moving quickly. Now Walker from the top of the arc. Short.
Redbirds are feeding Chase Walker early in this contest. He's already taken 4 shots.
Reed, step back, mid-range jumper. A little short as Doherty collects the carom. Now Illinois State slowing things down. 8-6, Redbirds lead. Just under 4 minutes into this one. Skunberg, little pick and roll. Pass to the corner for Pence. Oh, that's great two-man game. Walker muscling his way inside, but could not get it to fall.
Great help defense that time from the freshman Trey Singleton after Page was out of position.
That is heavy pressure by Skunberg on the freshman Singleton. Page gets it from the top of the arc. Now Singleton, deep. Foul down low as Martinelli collided with Kinziger and Pence. Bodies fallen, Illinois State on leave. A slew of changes on both ends. Northwestern putting Jordan Clayton out there. He got the start last time out when Jaden Reed wasn't available. Justin Mullins also for the first time tonight in the game alongside Crop for the Wildcats. Landon Moore out there for Illinois State, Lieb as well. And Tyree Coleman play some of the starters.
That time they'll get Tyler Kropp for a moving screen, an offensive foul that'll give the ball back to the Redbirds.
Kropp imposing size at 6'9" for just a freshman. And he is a tall task with Brandon Lieb. Kinziger goes right, a little toss to Lieb, corner for Doherty. Gotta watch him outside the arc. Such a good three-point shooter. Kinziger. Now, shot was from Illinois State. How deep that was. Martinelli from the top of the key. He has not had the ball a ton in his hands early on in this ball game. Has it here. Works right on Doherty. Gets to the lane, and it's just off the edge of the rim. It's a good look from Nick Martinelli, such an adept scorer. Doherty. Now Coleman, right wing, penetrates, kicks to Kinziger. The three, it falls. There's a foul down low, though.
I think they'll count the basket here, Adam.
Yeah, the basket should count, as now the officials talking things over. The foul was away from the play almost.
On the pass as Jordan Clayton took a body and hit the deck.
Coach Collins is really asking for a charge call here as the officials go over to the replay monitor. Seems like they might be taking a look at this.
The previous play is under review.
Does indeed there. It's all about that contact with Clayton. Ethan, did it look like he had position?
I'm not totally sure, but Jordan Clayton, how about just early on in this game, in an exhibition match, putting his body on the line. You mentioned how he had to step up when 2 point guards went down in the previous exhibition. Kind of like how he had to step up at the tail end of last year. It was supposed to be a redshirt year for Jordan Clayton, and ended up sacrificing that extra year because his team needed him with all of the injuries to Jalen Leach, to Brooks Barnheiser, and to other Wildcats, and was so important for that Northwestern team down the stretch. Just been such a selfless player and earned the praise of Coach Collins when we got to talk to him pregame. Said he hasn't been getting quite as many reps so far in practices going into this year, but when those 2 point guards went down.
After review, it was determined that the foul occurred before the basket was made. It'll be Illinois State ball on the baseline with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
So the foul occurring before the made basket, meaning Illinois State will keep possession. The basket no good, though, does not count. The Redbirds lead by 2. Just over 5 minutes into this first half.
And instead, that'll be Clayton's first foul of the game.
Leave at the top of the key. Turns to Coleman. Good trap by Crott, now out of position. This Illinois State offense finding Doherty. Can't fall. And he was excellent last year with the 3 point field goals. Can't find his first of the night. No points for either team in almost 3 minutes. It has gotten a little bit into a defensive slugfest here. The two offenses have slowed down.
both in terms of scoring and in terms of pace. Those first few minutes just at a breakneck speed.
Felt like two teams were running.
Absolutely, and since then, the teams have started to get into their sets in the half-court offense. And Northwestern with another opportunity for an inbound play.
Wildcats haven't scored in 2:55. Illinois State hasn't scored in 3:04. But still hold a 2-point advantage. Wildcats just 1 for its last 8 from the floor. Have an opportunity here with the baseline out play.
They were just taking a second to adjust the clock, make sure everything looks right.
It's still preseason for these officials as well. Clayton inserts. Finds Martinelli. Last option there. Martinelli down the right lane, turns back to the left, a little flipper. It's short, but he gets the foul called on Landon Wolf. Wolf had 5 fouls last time against Illinois.
Wolf mentioned that foul trouble, but how about Nick Martinelli going to that patented flipper? Hard to believe we went a full offseason without seeing any of those. That truly marks the fact that Northwestern basketball is back, as Martinelli on the board with a made free throw.
He's a 73% shooter from the line last year. Big part of his ability to get inside, score at a high rate. A little under 6 minutes into first half action from Evanston. Thought we were in for a really high scoring one in the first few minutes. Coleman, open 3. Rattles home. Great pass by Kinziger to find Coleman.
It's an Illinois State team that made 341 three-pointers last year. That's the most in Redbird program history. Not surprising to see them attacking from deep range early on.
Now Clayton. Ticky-tack foul down low as Wolf and Martinelli were tied up. That's another foul on Wolf, already 2 early, and Ty Pence is going to come back into this game. Mason Clabo as well checking in for Kinziger, who takes a seat. Kinziger already in his 6 minutes, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 points. Max Green, transfer from Holy Cross. Crop works down the right side, working hard on Lieb. Martinelli worked with the rebound and got fouled by Pence. That is 3 fouls in the last 2 possessions that Nick Martinelli has caused.
Lots of whistles early on in this one, but those ones just caused by the brute force of Nick Martinelli getting downhill and using his physicality under the basket that time. Another trip to the free throw line for Martinelli.
Makes his first. He's got 3 points tonight, all from the charity stripe. Just 1 field goal attempt. So 4 rebounds as well. KJ Wyndham enters for Jordan Clayton.
You can see Nick Martinelli, those high minutes per game, most in the Big Ten last year. And Chris Collins has already talked about trying to lower that number. I think 32, 33 is kind of that happy number that they're looking for in terms of Nick Martinelli, who was just spent by the end of last year, frankly, for the amount he was doing for the team and the amount he was on the floor.
Especially with all the injuries for Northwestern a year ago, without Jalen Leach down the stretch, Brooks Barnheiser, once you got to the second half of Big Ten play. That's, well, first couple games of the season, and it was really all on Nick Martinelli's shoulders. Worked a lot in the offseason in terms of conditioning. Green got a hand on the ball. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Moore pulls up from Chicago and just off.
Unbelievably impressive defensive possession by Northwestern that time, switching, rotating, and disrupting the ball. Northwestern fans gonna love to see that.
Wyndham chucks a 3 over Lieb. Yes, sir. Cats in front 13-11 as Wyndham knocks home from deep.
Wyndham, a guy who ended last year really hot, 24 points over the 2 games in the Big Ten tournament. That's the most by a Northwestern freshman since at least the 2005-06 season, picking up where he left off.
That was a good pass idea from Lieb, just could not quite execute it. Wyndham goes for the crossover, a little step back, shoots over Lieb.
The 7'1" Lieb, I might add. That is quite the wingspan, so created plenty of separation to get that one over top the 7-footer.
That's what Wyndham can do. He was so great towards the last half of the year, really the last 10 games or so for the freshman. Averaged almost 12 points per game in his last 9 appearances of the season, as Walker gets a foul on Arrington Page.
Great job by Walker, getting Page to bite with the pump fake. Another trip to the free throw line, and that's just what Chase Walker does. Get to the free throw line and score points. And in terms of Northwestern's defense, I think some Cats fans are going to really miss Matt Nicholson. For years and years in Evanston, he just provided such a stable defensive presence in the paint, and that is some of the questions. We know what Arrington Page can do on the offensive side on the floor. The question is, can he be that same stalwart that Nicholson was defensive?
It's not like Nicholson didn't have his fair share of defensive troubles at times with fouls, but Page is a guy that would like to be a little bit more refined on the defensive end. As he sits here for Crop. So Northwestern with the lineup of Crop, Mullins, Singleton, Green, and Window. It's Walker, soft touch on his second free throw. 13-13 as we near the under 12. Mullins to Singleton. Now Green turns. Works on Claybo. Downhill, turns again. Singleton, a tray. It's off the right side of the rim. Crop working down low, tangled with Walker, and it went off the freshman, Tyler Crop. Crop is a guy that his teammates have described as just an energy player. Mullins at Big Ten Media Days just saying he's just a competitive player, a dog. He likes to get after it. Commended his high motor, and that's the kind of thing that gets you on the floor as a freshman. Has a tough defensive assignment with the MVC preseason player of the year. Singleton traps. Now has to hustle over to close out Pence, who airballs Walker. Working on Crop. Another rebound. And a whistle called. That was some great offensive rebounding by that Illinois State squad. It's a little bit of a smaller lineup for Northwestern, and showing right there.
And you're seeing exactly that. When Northwestern goes small, takes Arrington Page off the floor, it forces Tyler Crop and Nick Martinelli to really shoulder the rebounding load, and that time just the physicality on the side.
The previous
of
play is
State.
under review for a timing error.
So we're tied at 13. We've hit the under 12. Redbirds 13. That group. But there's going to be a bit of a learning curve for these new players.
It certainly feels different, Ethan. Barnheiser with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's quite busy right now. Good trap in the corner. Singleton and Crop teaming up to trap Walker by the sideline. That is exactly the Chris Collins type defense that this Wildcats squad is all about.
The Chris Collins type defense that also included Chris Collins with his hands up right on the baseline. Almost looked like he was the third member of the trapping party, but just phenomenal defense by Northwestern, and you've seen glimpses of it. Northwestern has really been known for their defensive scheme the past few years. That being said, it's a more complicated defensive scheme, so when you have a much younger roster, like I said, it's going to take time to gel, but you can see Chris Collins right in there in the trapping formation, but Crop and Singleton, how about two freshmen just picking up the scheme really fast and getting a successful defensive stand as a result.
So impressive by Singleton to come over with help defense as well and take any opportunity of a pass away from Chase Walker.
Singleton admitted that defensive learning adjustment, even though he ran something similar in high school, it's just going to take some time. He admitted that, but he said he feels really good about where the team is at going into next Monday's season opener.
So a baseline out for Illinois State. Little short corner jumper from Claybo off the rim, and another offensive rebound for Walker. He has been a menace on the glass. Corner pop. Scunberg can't get it to rattle home.
Illinois State now just one of their last 10 from the field. Northwestern not much better, one of their last 8.
All tied at 13. Jaden Reed back into the ball game. Little pass down low to Singleton. Working on the baseline, kicks it to the corner for Sheravino. He's looking for his second 3 of the night.
Bucket didn't go in, but good job by Singleton to wade through some of the traffic under the hoop and get the pass out to an open shooter.
Claybo over to Scunberg, back to Claybo. Little pick and roll action. Great baseline cut for Pence, who got Singleton to jump and then worked up and under. That is fantastic stuff from Pence.
Even playing one-handed with that bulky cast on his left hand. Pence is a pure scorer.
Feels like this Illinois State squad is full of them. As Coleman with a hand check on Reed. That's what his speed does. You feel like you have to reach a little bit to get a hand on him. Just look at this cut again, right down the baseline. Nice little jump stop. And then the reverse layup.
Now, with Northwestern in the bonus, it'll send Jaden Reed to the line, so perhaps his first points as a Wildcat, even if they won't officially count in the record book.
Was an 79% free throw shooter last year at USF and gets his own rebound. Gets a man to get in the air and gets the and one. Oh, you can't get a free throw? He says it doesn't matter. I'll just do it myself again. And he's got another trip to the line.
Reed getting his first points in purple the hard way, chasing down his own rebound. Going through a handful of 7-footers and tall 6-footers. The 5'10" Reed comes up with the board and goes right back up with it. He'll go right back to the line where this time he sinks at Northwestern. Retakes the lead.
16-15 Wildcats. As a substitution here, lead out, Doherty in for the Redbirds. Doherty has been quiet so far in this ball game. He's a three-point menace. Last year shooting nearly at a 48% clip. No points tonight for him. Kinziger back out there as well. Works on Reed. Spinning away. Reed, great defense to just get it out of his hands. Two guys a little undersized running the point for each team.
Yeah, nice footwork by Reed just to shadow and play with his chest out, not get a foul, and poke the ball out.
Kinziger tosses to the wing. Clabo works downhill. And Reed got another touch on the ball there. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Kinziger from the end. And it just hits the bottom of the net and goes out of play. That is a great defensive possession from Northwestern. The defense so far has looked fantastic.
And that time it was a Jaden Reed defensive possession. Just such busy hands in passing lanes, on ball, off ball. Really impressive stuff by the transfer.
Little two-man game with Martinelli. Reed lost the handle. Sheravino picks it up. Oh, great take to the rim and puts it in. Angelo Sheravino gliding in for two.
And that's where you see the newfound muscle on Sheravino really coming into play, just treading into the paint with confidence and finishing strong to extend the lead to 3.
Now Kinziger, two-man game for Doherty. Wing triple and one. Jack Doherty laces it from deep. Ties this game up at 18. What a one-man play.
Unbelievable shot by Doherty. As first we take a look at Sheravino cut into the hoop off of a broken play. But then Jack Doherty, I think a few moments ago you described him as a three-point menace, and that time sinking the tray even as he was fouled. Last exhibition game against Illinois as he misses the free throw. Last exhibition game he took 11 shots. All 11 were from three-point range.
Went 5 for 11 from deep, a team-high 16 points. Martinelli cans a triple. A little firepower now. These teams waking up from their offensive slumber.
If Martinelli can unlock that three ball, if he can be hitting those at a 37-38% clip, it's going to just completely change the way that teams have to defend this Northwestern offense.
And Ethan, that was the thing. This is a guy that, you know, looked at those NBA draft waters in the offseason along with Brooks Barnhizer, and he just felt like teams did not really respect his three-point shooting enough, and that was a big focal point for him in the offseason. Wyndham now in transition. Kicks to Sheravino as the Cats circle back. Wing triple for Wyndham. KJ's got number 2. KJ Wyndham, 6 points, 2 for 2 from deep. 24-18, Wildcats lead on Big Ten Plus. Take one more look. Reed finds the open man.
Win 4 and on a 6-0 scoring run.
Pair of threes from Martinelli and KJ Wyndham. Clabo crossing up Sheravino. One-on-one inside. Has to kick out. Kinziger all alone. And it doesn't fall. He has taken some deep trays in this game as Martinelli pushes the pace. A one-hand toss to Singleton, who rockets it back to Martinelli. And a block call down low on the point guard Kinziger. Just 5'11", that is a tough assignment. One-on-one with Nick Martinelli barreling at you.
Yeah, with that size disadvantage, that's got to be a scary sight. And Nick Martinelli, when he's going downhill like that, he has so many options. He can go through you and go up to the hoop. He can stop his tracks and go up with that flipper. He can pass out to any open shooters. Martinelli's development has been really just such a testament to the development of this Northwestern organization. It's really one of the best development stories in the recent Big Ten history. Came in as a relatively unheralded prospect, and last year leading the Big Ten in points.
Not to mention, wasn't supposed to go to Northwestern in the first place. He was originally going to Elon, and ended up coming to Evanston, and the rest has been a fantastic story of success for Martinelli, but it's not done. Walker, the feet inside, a great turn off Martinelli. That's another thing for him as well, trying to get that defense, especially in the post. Northwestern's going to use a lot of Nick Martinelli down low this year in Big Ten play, all the physical Big Ten centers and forwards that can score the basketball, and Martinelli is going to have to be up to that challenge.
Yeah, that time he was bullied a bit by Chase Walker, just using his size against the smaller Martinelli.
Walker up to 7 points. Reed now, that's fantastic off 1 foot. Some soft scoring touch, he's got 5.
That silky, smooth, repeatable stroke from Jaden Reed. 2 years ago, shot almost 48% from 3. Would be another key that would just totally unlock this Northwestern offense if Reed can return to that form.
Pass to Walker, right on Martinelli on the left side, and he trickles it home. Nice veteran scoring play by Chase Walker. He's got 9. You can see why he averaged the most for the Redbirds last year. A little under 7 minutes to go in the first half. Cats lead by 4 as Northwestern gets into its set. Mullins from 3. Just off. Time Martinelli setting the down screen for Mullins. Mullins was left alone a lot from beyond the arc last season, and it's something that he worked on in the offseason, just taking as many threes as he could. Pence no good. Reed pushing the pace in transition. A little lob to Sherafino at the rim, and he lands down hard. A lot of contact there with Ty Pence in defense. And Sherafino down. Take a quick step aside on Big Ten Plus. Outside, that was a really heavy fall.
Really scary fall on his side with Jaden Reed pushing the pace in transition. Northwestern's offense is going to be
of a vulnerable player. By rule, it is upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul.
Here the calling. Flagrant 1 foul because of a push in the back, so Sherafino will get 2 shots at the line. But as I was saying, Northwestern's offense, you're going to see some more of those high-flying moments this year, and that's in large part just because of the pace that Jaden Reed can take the ball and go 94 feet on the floor. Transition buckets are going to be a big part of this Northwestern offense in 25-26.
Sherafino laces the first one through. He is a player that Northwestern loves out there, especially Chris Collins saying that just his athleticism, his ability to play with a multitude of guys, makes him a player that has to be out there because he just works off so many players really well.
Absolutely. His minutes were sporadic last year, but he's really earned a spot in the rotation this year, and it's why he's gotten starts in both of the exhibition matches. Chris Collins just trying to let him focus on his strengths this year.
Literally. I mean, he's 15 pounds heavier with so much more muscle. Had 20 points on the road at Purdue last year. As Martinelli cans another triple. He's got 10 as that leads all scorers. It's been a seemingly quiet 10 points as well for Martinelli, who started a little bit slowly, but he's 2 for 2 from deep as Reed picks up a foul on Kinziger.
And that 2 for 2 from deep stat line, Adam, that should terrify the rest of the Big Ten Conference. Martinelli, just a 33% three-point shooter a year ago, but look how smooth that shooting motion is for Martinelli. As you mentioned, up to 10 points, and really just staggering consistency from Martinelli as well. Almost identical points per game averages, home and away. He's really taken on a leadership role. It's his team this year.
Reed picks up his second foul as Kinziger makes the first of the 1-and-1.
So both teams now in the bonus the rest of the way.
Western in the double bonus. Kinziger makes both. Wildcats lead by 7. A little over 6 minutes left in the first half. You've seen a little bit of everything. Some three-pointers made, some good defense at times. Martinelli double teamed, a lot of contact as Walker wrapped him up. Don't know if that call is on Walker or on Landon Wolf. Wolf already has 2, Walker's got 1.
That'll be Walker's second, I believe.
So Walker picks up his second. Honestly, that foul could have gone on either. Martinelli already 10 points and 5 rebounds. Just filling up the stat sheet per usual. This is the first. It's double bonus. Landon Moore was unaware of that as he came streaming into the lane. Max Green checks in for Justin Mullins. Martinelli, though, gets the second to fall. He's got 11 points. 2 for 3 from the field, 4 for 6 from the line. As the Redbirds trail by their largest deficit of the evening so far.
The foul party continues in Evanston.
And that's on Page, already his 3rd foul. And now Chris Collins is going to have to play with the lineup again.
Foul trouble is going to be such a key thing for Arrington Page this year because Northwestern doesn't really have a true backup center. You have the freshman Cade Bennerman, who we haven't seen yet in either of the exhibition matches, but with Page on the floor, it's just going to force Kropp and Martinelli slightly out of position. And in the Big Ten, a conference where there are some really great centers, that can get you into trouble against some teams.
And we saw that last year against UCLA. Northwestern a little bit undersized in that one. And Adaimara in the second half just took over.
And now Adaimara at Michigan this year, so Northwestern will have to see him again in 25-26.
Not to mention Purdue with Trey Kaufman. There's so many good bigs in the Big Ten. Go down the list. Feels like every single team has one. That is a position of such premium in this league. Clayton, little 2-man game with Martinelli, who flips it in from the elbow. That is great touch. That is the Nick Martinelli way. Cats lead by 8. 5:20 to go in this first half. Great set. Wolf an open 3. It's a little long. Clayton rises for the rebound, jumping in front of Walker. Clayton, the stuff that he does doesn't always come up in the stat sheet, but he is such a physical player, such a team-first guy. Comes down the lane, high off glass, and it falls. Excellent touch from Jordan Clayton.
Jordan Clayton did not have that in his bag last year, Adam. What an impressive showing, just going aggressive to the hoop. Clayton at times a passive offensive player last year. Good to see him really take initiative on that play.
Corner 3 from Clabo. It's long. Battling underneath was Wolf. Kicks it back to Kinziger. Another 3 attempts. And Sheravino is there to get it.
The Redbirds have just gone cold from deep range now, sinking under 20% from 3.
That's the huge part of this offense. 2-man game, Green and Kropp. Back to Kropp. Tried to punch it off the inside of the glass, but to no avail. Kinziger's been incredibly impressive as well. This time finds Clabo. Spinning past Clayton, and just a little too much on the layup. That was an excellent move.
Illinois State's getting some good looks at him, just unable to finish. A few 3-pointers, a few layups, just nothing is going in. 3-minute scoreless drought.
Now Martinelli short on the jumper, and the Redbirds settle it down. No field goals in nearly 3.5 minutes for Illinois State. 0 for their last 5 from the field. Scoring drought over 2 minutes. Walker spins away from Green, jump stop inside, and lays it in with the left hand.
Really nice patience from Chase Walker on that play. 2 Northwestern defenders bite. He waits for them both to pass and has an easy layup at the cup.
Walker's got 11. It's a team high. Martinelli with a game high 13. Clayton gets downhill and fouled by Walker. That's a great job to be unafraid of the big man. And he will get 2 free throws. Jake West will get an opportunity at some point. He's unavailable tonight, missing this game with a concussion. His 2nd consecutive game missed, at his exhibition game at least. Foul on Max Green, who had both of his hands on Tyreek Coleman, and KJ Windham comes back in.
You mentioned Northwestern with a lot more guard options this year, but also Chris Collins will admit that he's really someone who likes to play positionless basketball. Yes, you will have a Jaden Reed or a Jake West or a Jordan Clayton on the court most times running point, but he loves to have a variety of combo guards, guard forward hybrids, forward center hybrids. Northwestern really specializes in that ability to switch in the positionless basketball that can make Northwestern a real headache for a lot of opponents.
Wyndham back in for Clayton. But even those two guys, and then you add in Reed in there. Jake West is healthy. You've got a fourth guy who can really handle the basketball. That takes so much pressure off Nick Martinelli. Wyndham got a ton of experience at the point guard position last year. He's not a true point guard in high school, more of a scoring guard, a shooting guard. Ball got away from Mullins, and now in transition, Coleman to the rack and one. Wanted to drop it down with the dunk, and Mullins some contact on liftoff, and an opportunity for a three-point play.
A tough sequence for Justin Mullins. That ball just bouncing up off of his paws and then recovered well and got back and showed off the hops, but an and-one opportunity for Tyree Coleman and Illinois State, and they're clawing their way back into this in the final few minutes of the first half.
Coleman nets the free throw. 37-33 Northwestern lead. This has been a close, competitive matchup all throughout the first half. Illinois State was a little bit ran out of the gym in the first half against Illinois in their exhibition battle. To be fair, the Redbirds were without Johnny Kinziger as well as Chase Walker, two preseason first-team MVC guys who have both played excellently so far. Kinziger has struggled a little bit in terms of scoring as Singleton works down low. Singleton's been quiet tonight for Northwestern as well.
Would love to see Singleton be aggressive and go up with that one. He had a lane.
Wyndham some space, just off. It was in and out, and Moore heads up. Play was falling out of bounds and hammered it off Justin Mullins.
As you mentioned, a heads-up play by Landon Moore to get the ball for the Redbirds, and now a chance to cut it to one possession.
Singleton, no points yet, 0 for 3 from the field, 2 rebounds, both on the defensive end. It's been a close rebound battle on both sides. 18 rebounds for Illinois State, 17 for Northwestern. 4 offensive rebounds for the Redbirds. It really feels like they have dominated on the offensive glass, especially Chase Walker. Scunberg a triple, a little long as Max Green gets it to fall. Pass to the corner, back over to Wyndham. Looks inside and now turns away. And here's the patented post play for Nick Martinelli. Facing the basket now. Gets to his back. Kicks to Green. High arcing three is just off. But great job by Northwestern to get back to the basketball. Mullins down low. And it ended up falling in, but a foul called as Singleton did a great job getting into the lane to pick up the rebound. That was some great loose ball offense from Northwestern.
Absolutely. Just high effort play by Northwestern. And something that we haven't been mentioning so far in this game are not too many turnovers. So far, just 2 for Northwestern, 1 for Illinois State. And that's something both coaches are pleased to see cleaning up after a game where Illinois State had 13 in their last exhibition and 17 for Northwestern in their exhibition against Iowa State last weekend.
Northwestern last year, top 40 in the country in turnover rate, a little over 15%. It's something that Chris Collins, like, that is a program pillar for Collins, along with the defense, taking care of the basketball.
4th in the entire NCAA over the last 3 seasons, and protecting the ball is Northwestern.
Mullins gets the second one to fall. 39-33 Wildcats in front of Illinois State. Moore bounces to Clabo. Speedy Kinziger now gets the match with Singleton. Pence on the smaller Wyndham. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Great pass to the corner. Kinziger with the Energizer Bunny. Pence a 3. It's just left of the rim. Minute left in the first half. Sheravino a 3. Singleton rises up for the rebound. Working on Moore, double team down low, fighting through the defense. And it just doesn't fall. everything but the basket for Singleton.
Next step for Singleton, got to be more decisive after grabbing that ball. Go right back up with it or pass out.
He just leaped into the air to grab the board. Skunberg versus Wyndham. And Wyndham with the foul. That's his first. That puts Illinois State at the line.
And that
now
marks
in the
our
double bonus.
25th foul of this first half, Adam.
A lot of sloppiness.
Absolutely, and I think for both these teams, Justin Mullen said at Media Day, you have 30 practices, and for these exhibitions, it's exciting to be able to play someone that's not your own teammates, and maybe perhaps the negative side of that manifesting in this game, a little bit scrappy, a little bit handsy on both sides. It's been a whistle fest in this first half.
For as much as you can play in closed doors against your teammates, there is something to playing these real games. In game speed, you can only simulate so much.
And not just against other opponents, but also in front of crowds, rather than those closed-door practices, really, or closed-door exhibition matches. Chris Collins saying there's really something about playing in front of fans and getting used to that game day atmosphere before the season starts.
20 seconds left in the first half. A 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Wyndham working on Clabo, turns back around. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Bounces to Martinelli, flips it through. 5 seconds left. Clabo pushing the pace, stops. A lot of contact, and that is how the first half ends. Great defense by Singleton, an excellent offensive sequence for Wyndham to find Martinelli. Martinelli finishes the first half